Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well. I'm just going to get straight into this one because I feel like it's going to be a bit of a long one. I know I've been doing a lot of sit down videos recently and not many vlogs, but really and truly there's not much to vlog about. Obviously we've been in lockdown for some time now and we'll be coming out of it soon, so I'm hoping I can get back into vlogging a bit more then. But at the moment I'm literally doing the same thing. I feel like I'm living the same day over and over and over again. So I don't really think it's worth sharing anything like that. So that's why I'm doing a lot of sit down videos at the moment. I say a lot, but it's not that much at all. Yeah, so as you can tell by the title of this one, it's called The Truth Is I'm Still Learning to Love Myself. Now, I really wanted, one of the main reasons why I started this channel was to talk about these sort of topics and share my experiences with self-love, building up confidence, and just those sort of like self-help topics. I know it's been said and done already, and a lot of people are doing this thing, but I believe everybody's experience is different, and I don't think just because somebody else has already done it doesn't mean you can't do it as well. You have a different story to everybody else, so why not share it? And that's why we're here. So I guess the main purpose of this video, and I've written some notes down because I really want a video like this to have structure. I don't just want to sit and talk because I've tried that before and it doesn't make sense, and I'll miss some things and I'll go back and forth and it just, yeah, it doesn't flow, and I really want this to come across clearly to people. So the video is going to be about my journey to self-love, how I viewed myself growing up versus now, any challenges I faced, and just pure honesty. I guess the first place I should start is my childhood. And when I first came to the UK, I came to the UK when I was 5 from Zimbabwe, and I've lived here ever since. I'm 26 now, so do the math. It's been a long time. But there's only certain parts I can remember from my childhood. I was obviously from another country, so stood out like a sore thumb. And a lot of the time I was made to feel different. And it's not something that I was really aware of at the time. It's only when I look back at that time and I'm like, wow, this is what you went through. This was real. Obviously 5 years old, you don't know anything about self-love, or you don't know about being treated differently or bullying until it happens. And I just remember feeling so different. Like, I went to a predominantly white school in my local area. Like I said, well, I didn't say this, but I was the only black person in my year group at that time. And I just remember feeling like everybody looks the same. I look so different. Like, why am I this tall? Why am I this dark? Why do I have such big lips? Like, all the little things that I hated about myself, I picked out. I didn't even realize I hated those things until I was put in an environment where it was so clear that I was different. And at that time, being different wasn't something I wanted to embrace. Yeah, it wasn't something I wanted to embrace. Anyways, and obviously that led to bullying. And I will never forget being made to feel like an outsider by the people that bullied me. And I'll never forget these girls. And the funny thing is, they were black, which till this day doesn't make any sense to me. When there's black on black hate, it's like, what are you doing? But anyways, like I said, we were all kids, and I'm sure for them, they didn't realise what they were doing at the time either. But they were older. But anyways, yeah, I was bullied about the way that I spoke, where I came from, and how I looked. And again, I only remember bits of it, but you never forget being made to feel ugly, being made to feel some type of way, being made to feel like there's something wrong with you. And yeah, I remember these girls making me feel like I was something to not be proud of. And it was weird, and I ended up becoming really close friends with this girl. I remember her, she was my first best friend when I came to the UK. I'll never forget her and how much she welcomed me, and she was so genuine and so pure with her kindness, and it made such a difference in my life, and it made me feel like, oh, maybe I'm not that bad, or maybe I can be accepted. And that's another feeling. I always remember feeling like I wanted to be accepted. That's something I remember from a very young age, and something that carried through from my teenage years, a little bit to my adult, a little bit to my adult life, but mainly when I was younger, I always felt like I wanted to be accepted by people. And it was by the wrong people as well, but we'll get into that a bit later. Like I said, I felt very different as a child, and I was bullied and made to feel different by the same people that looked like me, which made me feel really confused. And it made me want to now seek refuge in a different race. So I ended up wanting to become with only white people. I only ever wanted to be accepted by white people. And this is, like I said, I'm going to be very honest. I don't want to sugarcoat anything. Like, this is my reality and what I went through. And I just want to be able to let people out there know that this stuff happens to black people. Like, some of us actually go through these things. I don't know anyone personally other than myself who's gone through something like this, but yeah, I still wanted to share my story. Anyways, yeah, I remember feeling like I just wanted to be accepted by the wrong people. And I don't mean wrong people by saying there's anything wrong with white people. I'm just saying they no. Oh, I need to get my words out. What I'm trying to say is, when you try and get acceptance from another race, you also need to remember that you will never be that race. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think for me, I had this weird mentality that, oh, if I'm accepted by a white person, maybe they can see me as a white person. No. No, it doesn't work like that. And my mum always used to say to me as well, like, and I know she saw me portraying that behaviour and wanting to be friends with just white people. And I remember her saying to me, like, you will never be white. Never. No matter what you do, no matter how you change yourself, a white person will always see you as a black person, and you will always be black. That's just how it is. So yeah, that's pretty much how I viewed myself as a child. Didn't see myself as someone beautiful. I thought I was ugly, and like I said, I hated pretty much everything about myself, even to the colour of my skin. I didn't like that about myself. My hair, I hated my hair. I really wanted straight hair. I wanted to have blue eyes, and I wanted to have thin lips, and I wanted to be short. I didn't like the way that I looked at all. And I remember one day I came to my mum and I said to her, Mum, I don't want to be black anymore. I want to be white. And that's something that she will never forget. As a mother, like, you're never going to forget that your child has said something like that and doesn't see the beauty of who they are. And I know, like, we speak about it now, like, it's not something that she'll ever forget, and she still feels really bad that I went through that experience. And don't get me wrong, my mum was always very uplifting, very encouraging, always told me to love myself and why I should love myself. She always drilled that in me, but I was the kind of child that just didn't really want to listen to that. It didn't make sense to me at the time, so how could I take on or believe something that doesn't make sense to me? It was only the older that I got that I realised, oh, okay, yeah, now this makes sense. But as a child, sometimes you just don't understand it, and you're not going to try and listen or try and make a change to the way that you're thinking. And that was my struggle. And yeah, that mentality carried on into secondary school. I remember when I got into secondary school, I so badly wanted to be accepted by a certain group of people, and it's something I still kick myself about till this day, because it's like, you could have had such a different experience if you didn't seek so much approval from the wrong kind of people. You could have had such a different experience. Now when I look back at secondary school and my time there, I don't think, oh, this was a great time. Absolutely not. But sometimes, yes, they were good times, but I just always associate that with an unhappy time of my life. Yeah, again, I had the same mentality. I still didn't like the way that I looked. I tried to change the way that I acted, the way that I dressed, the way I did my hair, just so I could fit in more. But it was just so sad because that was never going to happen. But again, I didn't see that at the time. And I remember really trying to be friends with some people in particular. I'm not going to name their names, but I remember trying to be friends with them. And my mum, again, my cousin and my cousin's friend, they used to tell me, I think when I was like 11 or 12, so secondary school years, they used to tell me, Shamila, these people you're trying to be friends with, they are not your friends. They don't like you like that. And you need to see that. They don't like you like that. And I was like, no, they're my friends. Like, they are my friends. Like, I was convinced these people were my friends. And they were like, no, they're not. And it's only when I look back again, I'm just like, what the hell is wrong with you? Honestly, I'm laughing, but I can laugh about it now. Whereas before, I would just feel really low, because there did come a point where I was completely isolated from those people and they wanted nothing to do with me. And I will never forget how I felt, and just questioning myself and questioning everything, and just saying, like, what have I done? Like, I thought I was a nice person. I thought I was genuine. Like, what? I don't understand. What have I done? Why do they not accept me? It was that thing again. And I can't stress enough how dangerous it is to try and seek people's approval. Take it from me firsthand. It is so soul destroying. It's damaging to your mental health. It's damaging to who you are, your character, your integrity. Like, it's so unhealthy. And if you're one of those people who feels like you need to change yourself, or you need to do something to feel accepted by someone, whether it's friendship, whether it's a relationship, family, anything, take a step back and just reevaluate things, because I'm telling you, it's not worth you putting yourself down just for somebody else to approve, just to give you approval. And plot twist, they will never accept you, because in their head, how you are and what they and who they are, it just doesn't match. It doesn't match. And I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I'll never forget that feeling, and just questioning myself for such a long time, and trying to figure out what it was that I did for these people to not want me to be their friends, or not to accept me. Like, I'll never forget that feeling. But I'm also very thankful for that time in my life, because if I really forced it, or if they had accepted me, I don't know where I would be today. So I'm glad I went through that time where I was able to really see what it was like to be rejected in a way. And not even in a way, that was rejection. And to learn how to love myself regardless of anybody's approval. I would never love myself the way that I do now if it wasn't for those experiences. The first time I felt proud to be black, or felt proud to be who I was when I went to a Seventh-day Adventist church in my local area. Now, my brother was actually the first one to go to this church out of like our family. I grew up in a Pentecostal church, so SDA wasn't something I was exposed to growing up. So yeah, my brother was invited by one of his friends, and they ended up inviting me as well after some time. And there was a lot of young people, a lot of young black people that I had never been around like that. Because the church I went to, again, it was predominantly white, and I was the only black girl, at the time. And even then, like, I still felt isolated, even though I was at church. But when I went to this SDA church, it was like, oh my gosh, I had never felt so accepted. I had never felt so at home in my life until I went to that church. And I just remember seeing this group of girls, my girls till this day. Shout out to them if they're watching. I'll never forget the way that they accepted me, bar one of them. You know who you are, Dion. Yeah, that's a funny story. But yeah, she's like one of my close friends now anyway. They're not even just my friends, like those girls are like my sisters. And I'll never forget when I first went to that church and the way that they embraced me, and the way that I just fit in with them, and the way that they just embraced who they were as black women, and the confidence, like, it was just amazing. I've said this to them before, but they'll never fully know what that did for me in terms of accepting myself and loving myself as a black woman. I'm not saying they didn't have any insecurities. Everyone has their own insecurities, but the way that they carried themselves was enough for me to be like, I need to be like that. Yeah, and that was the first time that I started to feel like, actually, I like being me. Like, why would I want to be anything other than me? And it just started to carry on from there. That was the first time I started to go on that journey of self-acceptance and self-love. The more I was around them, the more I was exposed to my culture as well, the more I started to realise that actually I am beautiful just the way that I am. And I wouldn't change a damn thing about myself, because that's what makes me unique, and being different is a good thing. Not to get too cheesy or soppy, but it's true. So yeah, that was one of the experiences that I had. And also going to one of my cousin's weddings. His wedding was, again, the first time I had been around my own people, shall I say, as an adult. Well, an adult. And again, like, the girls that I saw there, they were so confident, and they knew who they were as Zimbabwean women, not just black women, but as a Zimbabwean. They knew who they were, and just the way that they would sing, like, some songs, or like the way that we would interact with each other, like, I just felt I was mesmerized. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be like that. Like, why have I been spending so much time dissing myself and trying to make myself be somebody other than I'm not? Like, why have I been doing that? So again, that added to me learning to love myself. But going into sixth form in uni, again, I feel like this kind of didn't help me, because I didn't move out when I went to university. That's another story. I stayed at home, so therefore I didn't really interact with other uni students. I made friends, yes, some that I still talk to today, but I never went to like I didn't go to Freshers Week, I didn't go to any of the parties or any of the social events. Like, I missed all of them. So I feel like that kind of put me at a disadvantage in meeting other people like myself, and again, learning to love myself and develop that confidence. Obviously, when you're in lectures and stuff and you get some time in between to like catch up with people and lunch breaks and stuff, you kind of get to know people that way. But if I had a bit more of that, I genuinely feel like it would have made a massive difference. But I think the biggest thing for me was when I went into the working place. Sorry, I just paused there, my mind went blank. When I went into the workplace, ooh, nah, I did not know what was coming when I started working. Obviously, I had like jobs whilst I was in uni, but not like proper jobs. It was just temporary positions or like cleaning jobs and stuff like that. But when I went into the working world after university, that's when I was tested in so many ways. Like, my mental health, the way I viewed myself, that was really tested, because I was in an environment where I was dealing with different types of people. And these were people that I was seeing on a daily basis, and people that were older than me, more confident and more experienced. Whereas I was this little old Sham who had just finished university, never really been exposed to anything other than the educational world, never really been outside of the church world. Like, it was totally different for me. But again, it was only when I left that I was able to look back and be like, as tough as it was for me working there, and I'm not going to get too into the story of me working at this place, but what you need to know is, when I left, I really appreciated the time I had there. I hated that job, but I was so thankful that I worked there, because again, it shaped me into the person that I am today, in terms of building that confidence and learning to love myself. Where I am today is somebody who is still struggling. Not gonna lie, I still have my moments, but the things that I used to really put myself down about, those have changed completely. I said in my last video, I'm 5'9", and I absolutely love that. I've got big lips, and I absolutely love that as well. I'm dark skinned, and I absolutely love that. Those are, and it makes me feel really proud when I say that, because I know how I used to see myself and how badly I wanted to look different, and now I wouldn't change that for the world. But like I said, there are some things that I still struggle with and that I am still working on, but overall it's a positive thing. And it's also one of the main reasons why I say everything happens for a reason, because if it wasn't for what I went through, I wouldn't be where I am today or who I am today. I'm 26 years old and I'm still learning to love myself, and I think I'm just excited to get to a point in my life where I'm like, yeah, this is me and this is all of me and I love it. I can say that now, but I know that there's still some work to do. So I'd be lying if I said I felt 100% happy with myself. I don't think anybody ever does feel 100% happy with themselves, but just feeling content as well, and just knowing that who you are and how you are is okay. It makes all the difference. I wanted to end this just by saying, what 3 pieces of advice would I give my younger self, or any young girl out there who might be going through the same thing? Number 1, never seek approval from anybody else but yourself. Number 2, instead of picking up the things you don't like about yourself, pick up the things that you do like about yourself. We're so quick to say, I don't like this about me, I don't like this, I don't like that. But how often do you hear people saying, I love this about me, or I love this personality trait about myself, or I love this physical thing about myself? Like, you don't really hear people saying that. I would say to my younger self, learn to pick out the things you do love about yourself, or anybody else, any other young girl out there. And the third thing, it's okay to be who you are. And I guess that kind of ties in with all of them, really. They all kind of intertwine with each other. If I believed that when I was younger, things would have been so different. But like I said, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm thankful for my journey. And yeah, so that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you have learned something more about myself, and I hope I've covered everything. If I feel like I've forgotten anything, I will add some notes in the description. Yeah, or if anybody has any questions as well, please feel free to ask me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Also, if there is anything you guys would like to see from me in particular, please let me know. Something that I am still debating to do is sharing me learning how to play the piano. My mum bought me a piano for my birthday. I showed it in one of my vlogs, and some of my friends have been on me saying, you need to do videos of you playing. One of my friends actually the other day told me to stop being a wimp and just do it. So I am still considering it. But yeah, if there's anything else you want me to record and share, please let me know. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.